starting.
Hey! Hello, everybody. Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. It's time for the build. That's right. I'm still building Jaws. If you were here last week, you saw I finished the Orca. I'm building the water that the Orca sits on, and then I get to start building Bruce, and that's going to be the fun shit.
If he shows up.
If he shows up. Yeah. Should I build him under the table so then that way you see a giant mechanical shark at the end of the stream?
Mm-hmm. Only brief glimpses, like maybe 30 seconds here and there for a 2-hour movie.
Sadly, the Bruce that I'm building probably looks more realistic than the shark in the movie.
Close.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now watching the build. What is up, everybody? Yeah, a little bit late. Our guest was having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we felt like it was more beneficial to make sure that was working before we started the show. So we are here, guys. I apologize. We're about just under 20 minutes late, but we're fine. It's not like
we're still good.
It's not like the first time that this has happened, and usually it's me. So just fuck it. Blame me. It's my fault. It is my fault. Blame me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the build. I am your boy, Young Phil. Apparently not a Hashira, just because I left that up from Tuesday.
You're not?
I'm not. I will never be a Hashira because I'm not that good of a ninja. And of course, to my side here, where's my hand? Right there. That guy right there. It is the man, the myth, the legend. It's the beard attached to the man that is Graveyard.
Yes, and unfortunately, the beard's trying to kill me by giving me ear infection. So if you see me wince in pain, don't worry.
It's funny because it was like, hey, I'm gonna attack one ear, and then you were like, dude, get the fuck out of my ear, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna get out of your ear. Surprise! I'm in your other ear, bitch.
Mm-hmm. It's great. Great. I've only slept 2 nights in the past week, so.
I think I might need to write a joke about this and put it on Graveyard's beard.
You should. You really should.
Good, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this show, everything we do here is brought to you by the good folks over at Dubby. Okay. Dubby is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about Dubby at www.dubby.gg. Use the code NERDING10 and get 10% off your order. Ladies and gentlemen, it is delicious. And yes, they still don't have a pickle flavor, Graveyard. I'm sorry.
Because we need you, chat, to buy Dubby using the code NERDING10. Take pictures of yourself with your dysentery merch and tag us and Dubby #pickle.
#pickle Dubby.
We'll make
get
it happen.
Get them to make a pickle flavor for you so that I can vomit it all over, the side of Chicago. Actually, I will shit that out over the side of the Chicago Bridge. The way that
Dave Matthews.
The way that Dave Matthews did over the side of the bridge in Chicago. So there you go. I'm going to go and ruin Chicago the same way Dave Matthews did.
Oh, he's ruined the world with his music.
Oh, man. He's definitely not punk. All right. So we're going to... Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of fucking the punk rock life, let's jump into this. Today's guest is a prolific writer, tattoo artist, and a horror nerd to the extreme. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the immensely talented Dan Henk. Sorry, hold on. There we go. Dan Henk.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
How's it going, man?
Good.
Awesome.
So we're going to start it off this way. Damn it. You're pressing the wrong button. That's the one I'm looking for. I'm going to start it off this way, man. We have a segment on our show called Growing Up Geeky. What did you geek out on when you were a kid?
Well, mostly, so my parents are super conservative, and so I'd sneak out to my friend's house, and he lived in a trailer on his uncle's property, and his single mom took care of him, but his single mom was cool. She like give us beer and cigarettes, and then we'd watch I remember I loved Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 was my jam. I've watched that movie so many fucking times, I don't know. and RoboCop, and I figured out if you watch RoboCop, and like this is back in the VHS days, a lot of people don't even know what that is, but I figured out if you slow it down, when he hits that guy that comes out of like the nuclear waste thing, you know, he hits a guy, you see the guy's face slide down the windshield.
Nice.
So yeah, I was big. I still have a RoboCop shirt. I love RoboCop.
Yeah.
Have you seen the game?
Seen what?
There's a game. There's a RoboCop. It's called RoboCop Rogue City.
No.
It's actually pretty good, dude. I played it on stream. And it's pretty decent.
Okay.
And there was an achievement for shooting people in the dicks the entire time.
Yeah. There was literally an achievement for shooting people in the dick, and I just kept shooting everybody in the dick. It was great.
Well, like 22, like I think that's no, that wasn't 209, but that was the guy who was like the young buck who was like, you know, trying to like say my shit is better, and like the old guy comes in, he has like people come in with a 22 and they shoot him like 15 times, like shoot him on the leg and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I gotta ask Dan, as a huge Evil Dead fan myself, as the audience knows, why number 2 over number 1?
Well, I saw number 2 first, and of course, the first one you see is often most significant.
Mm-hmm.
But I figure 2 is just like number 1, but with a better budget and a little bit. Everything's a little bit tighter. And but I did see 2 first, and so 2 it just it felt like it grabbed me a little bit more. And though I saw 1, it's like I already saw this, you know. But both are good. And I've actually seen both. I had a friend who got the original reels, and he played them both in theaters. In Evil Dead 1, you can really see how low budget it was if you see it on the big screen. Because like the moon of the cabin, like they cut the moon out, so they have a plastic cutout of the moon over top of the cabin. I'm like, wow, you know, you can't see that on like a VHS tape when your TV's like this big, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I get it, but I it's always a toss up for me. It's kind of dependent on the day for me, which one I like more, 1 or 2. I generally lean towards 1 more because it's more horror-esque and less slapstick. But I also like it as well for number 2.
I felt like Army of Darkness kind of went off the rails with the slapstick bit. I was like I thought Evil Dead was like a perfect combo, and I figured Army of Darkness just like the horror was gone. It was just mainly like, you know, dark comedy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was, originally called Medieval Dead.
Oh, was there an actual name for it?
Mm-hmm. That's what they called it, and they changed it to Army of Darkness. That was going to be Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness, and he realized he didn't want his name to be trademarked in the movie title, so they just became Army of Darkness.
Oh, no.
Wait, so they were going to call it Bruce Campbell in the Army of Darkness?
Versus the Army of Darkness, yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's just one, those strange facts I have about Evil Dead in my head at all times for no reason.
Well, Evil Dead 2 was like my favorite movie. Like fairly recently got overtaken by The Shining, although I'd say Evil Dead 2 is still my number 2 favorite. But I've Evil Dead tattooed on my knuckles.
Nice.
I'm such a fan. I was like, dude, I gotta get it.
Yeah, half of my horror sleeve I have here is
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. So, yeah, I'm like I said, huge fan. My son's name is Ash William. So yeah. He's never seen the movie, but he knows where his name comes from, and that's important.
So he's never seen any of the movies?
He has not. He's still young enough that my wife's like, I don't know if I want him to watch it. So I'm like, I was watching it at that age, but that's okay.
How old is he?
10.
No. Yeah, that's old enough.
I think so.
I was 8 when my dad took me to see Apocalypse Now in the theaters.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a different type of horror.
And it's never been the same ever since.
Fucking Apocalypse Now. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, I remember my mom trying to get him to take us to the theaters. So my dad would see every sci-fi movie and every war movie. Like he had to see him. He saw the first Alien in the theaters, and my mom kept me from seeing that because I really wanted to see it, but it was like, no, which I saw later. It's an awesome movie, but I remember Apocalypse Now took us in right at the scene where the GIs are crucified. When they come into the camp and like the GIs are crucified. That's when she finally talked to him and leaves. So they're dragging us out the theater, like looking back like this at the theater, like, dude, what the fuck are we missing? Of course, when you're kids, if you get dragged into something, you got to see it. So so we saw it shortly afterwards.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like my parents, very conservative, didn't want me watching horror movies growing up, but like when the war movies came out, like when Saving Private Ryan came out, my dad's like, you have to go see this to see what war it depicted, like at least pretty accurately on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, so I can see people getting shot to death, blown up, torn apart. But if a guy's wearing a hockey mask, oh, that's not okay.
And his answer probably was, yeah, you got the gist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, just to throw it out there, I kind of feel like there's not really any rationale for like the killing in war, and there's rationale in the horror movie. So when people are like, "Oh, he's just killing for killing's sake," it's like actually there's more rationale, and that the person doing the killing is crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just because a teenagers are making out, that's good enough reason to kill them.
Like, son,
yeah, all those early ones were kind of morality plays, like. You have sex or you do drugs and fucking Jason kills you.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I was going to say, it's like, son, you need to watch this movie specifically now because you need to understand this is why guys have PTSD. That guy that's walking down the street yelling at the moon. This is why.
Yeah. So Dan, we have another question for you that we always like to ask every guest. If a movie was made about you, who would play you, why, and what genre would the movie be?
I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. Like I'd like to, like, maybe I'd say like a little bit of RoboCop, maybe I say a little bit of American Psycho, maybe I say a little bit, like I really don't know. 'Cause like I feel like there's a lot of shit that's happened, like, going through like car windshields and like, all sorts of stuff, so yeah, in some ways it was like very active, and in some ways it was like, well, like versus American Psycho, like he just randomly kills people. It's like, there are some people deserve death, but like I wouldn't just randomly kill people. Although come the zombie apocalypse, everyone I don't like, I'm shooting, zombie or not.
Yeah,
it's pretty intense, man. Just because, like, in doing the research on you, a movie should be made about your life, man.
More than one person has said that, and like when I say like I'm pitching my novels to them, they're like, "Oh, is it an autobiography?" I'm like, "Not really."
Yeah, I mean that kind of goes nicely. And where did your love of Ryan come from? Is it something you always had growing up, or just something you developed later on?
Well, my parents, we were always on these rural army bases, like, in upstate New York or like in upstate Florida or something like that. So like I would go to the local library and like I check out this whole fucking stack of books and I'd have them all read within a week. Like I was that kid who'd like be at the door after you're supposed to go to sleep with a flashlight, like reading a book, And but I read all these books, so I always like kind of lived in this fantastical world. And I used to draw and I wrote, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted. And then I saw Watchmen for the first time. I was like, oh, you can do both, So that kind of got me into it. Plus, I had that very much like this is when you didn't have helicopter parents. So the parents were pretty much like, all right, see you at 6. That's when dinner is. If you want dinner, be here at 6.
Yep.
But otherwise, they didn't give a fuck. So, you kind of like lived in your own world and didn't really care about your parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's 7:00. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10:00 here in Chicago. That's when your parents go, wait, we have kids? Oh, crap. That's right.
Well, more or less, yeah. That's kind of the way it was.
Yeah. I mean, so what did you read mostly growing up then? Was it anything you get your hands on? Or was it more sci-fi and horror?
Well, mostly I've always liked stuff that's really dark. I wouldn't say it's like straight up horror. So
Mhm.
a lot of that early horror, at least the horror that was kind of pitched to me, was like more of just like splatter, gore in your face. I was like, I want a good story, you know. So like, if it was a good story, but it's a little bit on the dark side, like do you ever read the books of Cain? Like Carl Edgar Wagner, he's like they're
I
kind of
have
like
not.
Conan, but it's supposed to be like Cain and Abel, but like Cain lived all the time. He's kind of like a slightly more evil Conan. So
Okay.
I love those. So I remember I grabbed all those from the library. And then there was like I remember I grabbed stuff that kind of basically I go off the cover. So if the cover looked cool, I pick up the book.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I was like, well, this author always puts out good stuff. So then I started picking up like their stuff all the time. Like William McGibson, who did Neuromancer, and I really like that. So then I picked up everything he did. And I remember it was kind of like a revelation to me, rather, when I first read Lovecraft. And I picked up and I read a Lovecraft story, and it really spoke to me. I mean, it was my, juvenile mind where I was like, holy shit, this is my fucking life, But yeah, no, I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, Lovecraft, despite the controversy that exists with him, it is what it is. But his stories are so, I'd say, ahead of his time, so macabre, and honestly hard to put into a movie because you look at the number of works he did versus Stephen King, and almost everything Stephen King has done has been made into movie. But Lovecraft, it's so hard for them to do right. You have like The Curse with Will Wheaton in the 80s versus The Color Out of Space. Same story, but completely different movies.
Did you see the Nick Cage one?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. I mean, it's a B movie, but it's pretty good.
Well, the old gods need to be B horror movies or feature features. That's what I think. But did you read a lot of Stephen King? Did you get heavily into him at all?
I don't remember what it was. I read a couple of Stephen King's. Like I read Christine. I like that. I read Firestarter. So there were a bunch of early ones I read, and I remember I read wasn't one where the guy like he kills like a gypsy or somebody the gypsy knows. Thinner. Yeah. So I remember I was reading Thinner, and like it would have been a great short story. But he padded that out. And I got to one chapter where like the whole thing is like just a guy describing toilet paper while taking a shit. I'm like, all right, I give up on Stephen King. So yeah, and like I felt like after Lovecraft, I just feel like Stephen King wasn't like as innovative. Because the thing I really like about Lovecraft is how his great concepts. Like nobody had concepts like him.
Yeah,
you could say like plenty of bad stuff about him, but it's like I try to separate the artist from the art. Like I love listening to Danzig. I've heard he's a huge douchebag in person, but I don't combine the two when I listen to Danzig.
Right. Yeah, and that's fair. Did you want Danzig to play Wolverine by the way?
No.
Petition.
No, I don't think he would have done a good Wolverine. I actually originally it was supposed to be Russell Crowe, and he had some some movie obligation, so instead they used Heath Jackman. So I was like, it wasn't a bad choice, but I think Russell Crowe would have really, embodied the character, like that, the whole like kind of grit to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But what if, right? What could have been? Would he have been doing it 25 years later? Probably not.
Not the way that Jackman does it.
Yeah.
Why?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, but no, he is Hugh Jackman because that meant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like I said, Lovecraft has such deep and foreboding thoughts. He really goes into the recesses of your mind,
right,
and makes you wonder what is potentially out there. I love Stephen King, but I remember reading Under the Dome, which is like 800 pages, and the first chapter is like the thoughts of a groundhog as the dome goes over him. I'm like, I don't care the thoughts of the groundhog.
Right.
not necessary to the plot. And lo and behold, the 3 seasons of the TV show never gave us the groundhog thoughts. That we
because nobody cared about that. I mean, there's a lot of shit in Stephen King novels that is just fucking weird to begin with. The fact that they got a little bit closer in the newer version of it, but I mean, there's an entire rape scene in the book, and it's fucking not cool.
It's group sex. It's called an orgy with the kids.
That's even worse.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely pieces of, alcohol and cocaine that you can see in his story writing from the 80s for sure.
Hey, I'm gonna write a.
I was gonna say he's a big fucking cokehead for a while, so
yeah.
I'm gonna write a good story for pedophiles right now. This is gonna be great.
Well, I remember one person whose stuff I liked a lot, especially as a kid. Well, as a teenager, was Clive Barker, like all the Books of Blood and stuff. But the thing is, the first 3 volumes of Books of Blood, I think, are amazing. And then he got addicted to heroin. So it's he's still a good writer, but there's way too much similarity from one story to the next. It's dude, I can tell you just nodding out, just yeah, how about this, So it's like one is how there's something in a ball of string that ends up killing people, and it's dude, I can just tell you're not with us.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's amazing what you're able to see the writers going through and their addictions and their lifestyle addictions that they have.
But before that, the Yaggering and the Yak and the Tale of Two Cities, and he was fucking amazing. Nobody was as good as him.
Yeah, that's very fair. And his hand in directing went just as well as Stephen King's in the 80s, which was not good.
I don't know. I like that first Hellraiser.
He didn't direct that, though.
He didn't? I thought he directed that. Did he write it? I know he had some hand in it.
Yeah, I mean, he directed Rawhead Rex. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Not good. The story is good.
Yes.
But not the movie. I was kind of disappointed because I read the story first. I was it's a really good story. And I watched the movie. I was oh man.
Yeah,
it's maximum overdrive. It's
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think he directed. He did. No, he did direct Hellraiser. You're correct.
He directed.
Interesting. Yeah, he did Hellraiser, Nightbreed, Lord of Illusions, which is a trippy movie.
I liked the Lord of Illusions, but it wasn't completely sold on it. Same with Nightbreed.
Which apparently Nightbreed is becoming a TV show. Didn't know that.
Is it really?
Yeah. Interesting. But Dan, when you talk about all this stuff, what kind of do you draw inspiration from your past when you're writing your current works, and just try to obviously you're trying to avoid the heroin nodding off, you're trying to avoid the talking gophers essentially, but what kind of inspires you with your work?
I think part of it, I think 2 things. One, what I read growing up, and I'm a big fan of Lovecraft, big fan of Richard Matheson. I think he's a way underrated writer. And I like early Neil Stephenson, like Snow Crash and Diamond Age and stuff like that. So I think that kind of fed into it, but also I think that it helps, that I really started putting a lot of this stuff out later on because I have this whole wealth of experience. I've lived all over the country. I almost died a couple of times. It's a whole bunch of shit has happened, so I feel like I have more of a source of reference.
Yeah. Do you how deep do you dive into the human psyche and thriller and aspects to kind of get that Lovecraftian oomph behind it?
I don't remember who it was, but somebody was if you want to be a writer and you really want your stuff to be revelatory and be a step above, you have to be uncomfortable with what you put out. Go so far into something you're uncomfortable with it. So like my wife doesn't hit a run. So I have in my first novel, which I rewrote. That's what my Kickstarter campaign is for. It's for the hardcover, the sign number. But and that like the main character, his wife dies, and then it's kind of like unfairly handled by the authorities. So it really puts him down a dark path. And my wife was a Colombian immigrant, and she was covered in tattoos, and she died in a hit and run, but the authorities kind of blew it off because tattooed immigrant, whatever. And then after like meeting up like all local news, and she was Colombian, so her brother spoke Spanish, so he contacted Telemundo and Univision. So after it went everywhere and it made NYPD look really bad, then all of a sudden it was a big story. So I just felt like it was unfairly handled. Like they never found the guy who did it, and so I figured in my story, like some of that emotion, some of that stuff I went through, I put in the story. I figured that made it like more real. That made it like more personal. I could almost, and I wrote that story in first person. So it's like through the guy's own eyes. So some of that is kind of like what I was feeling.
Yeah. And they always say a good writer puts a piece of himself or herself into the story.
Right. Hopefully not so much it's like cliche, but
I mean, at some point in your career, you just go full meta and just write you have a story about you writing the story.
Yeah. It's true. Actually, but it might be good, but it might be bad. But I was gonna say, you know what? I just thought of this actually. And it's actually James Navarre who wrote The Crow. Like his girl died. And so when he wrote The Crow, that was part of the motivation behind it. Like I don't know if you read the comic, but I read the comic and seen the movie. I think I like the comic better. I think the comic is like way more developed and everything, but you can kind of tell that he's like going through this emotional passage while he does the whole story. And I was like, I feel like that's kind of what I did. And I just thought of this right now, but I see some similarities.
Yeah, I think that pain is part of life, but you're able to express it and hopefully deal with the grief of losing someone in a way that you're able to convey it and show people the sorrow and pain that you went through. You know,
it's I mean, they say that like pain inspires, right? So I mean, like that's definitely something that seems like it goes that route.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, were you a big comic book fan growing up, or is that something that you just got into? Yeah.
So this is back because I'm old. Like I remember they sold comics on spinner racks.
I still remember that. We're not that old, man.
It was like 75 cents an issue, and I pick up like Alpha Flight or something. I go to 11 and I pick it up. So I was a huge fan of all that stuff. And then as I got into my later teenage years, and I was like, oh well, you can't have any creases in it. You got to keep it like near mint or whatever. But and then actually I kind of got past that. So now if I really like the story, I want the graphic novel because I want it kind of like wrapped up in the form where I can read and reread it and not worry about it. But I've always been huge into stuff, and I just feel like ever since Alan Moore and Frank Miller came along and they kind of revolutionized the industry by like doing something nobody did. Like I remember like The Dark Knight and Watchmen is like there were not comics like that until that stuff came out.
Yeah.
And right. About it, like holy shit. And that kind of inspired me to like, be a comic book, artist and writer. Like originally I kept debating everything. I was like, well, I really want to draw, but I don't think I can really express it. So I really have to write. And then I read Watchmen. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It changed my whole world.
Yeah. It's amazing that, it took those people to come out and make works that people realize, like, you know what, you can do it. And honestly, their comic books have become some of the easiest translated into a movie from the pages.
Frank Miller, especially though. I mean, because the majority of what we've seen on screen for Batman is based on Frank Miller's version of Batman, save for one version.
Good stuff. There was some happy interpretations. I'm like, I would not put that on Frank.
Yeah, it's amazing what you're able to do in comics, and honestly, this is where I think indie really shines, is that you're able to tell these stories of kind of being beholden by the big three, essentially, right?
Right. Well, I remember like when Watchmen came out, like they
Mhm.
thought it was not going to sell at all, you
Mm.
know. And basically they got Alan Moore because Alan Moore was like a big name in Britain. Like people were like, "Oh man, he's so good." So they hired him, and first they stuck him on Swamp Thing. And I would say actually, as far as inspiration, that art team on Swamp Thing, to this day, they're my favorite art team. You know, and I have a podcast too, and I've interviewed Steve Bissett, and he really nice guy, but he has a lot to say. You know, he wasn't like Alan Moore is like really angry. He's like my girl calls him the angry old wizard.
It's pretty accurate, yeah.
That's very accurate.
But I mean,
Angry-
DC fucked him over hardcore. So I know Swamp Thing was one issue away from cancellation, and then Al Moore came on board, and all of a sudden it became a bestseller. You know, and they're like, "Oh, he's so good. We just bought all these Charleston characters because they bought Charleston Comics who went bankrupt. They're like, we'll
Right.
give him to Alan Moore, and he can like resurrect the brand." And then we started doing Watchmen. They're like, "Oh, you're fucking them all up. You can't do this. We just paid all this money for them." So they're like, "You got to make up your own stuff." So he made up his own stuff. So if you notice, a lot of the characters in Watchmen are kind of close to some of the Charleston characters.
Yeah.
And so he made up his own stuff and like redid sort of. And he's kind of OCD. I mean, I am too, so I understand it. But like with Manhattan, he built a plastic model of Manhattan. So you go, well, if one figure's here, he's talking to this character here, he sees this here, you know. So I remember he did the whole thing and he was like super into it and talked to DC and they go, "Oh well, you know, we renew the rights every like, I don't know, 6 months, a year, whatever. We just won't renew them. They go back to you, they'll, you know, you'll be fine." They've to this day renewed them. He still does not have a piece of that. And then, like when they were putting out, when Watchmen all of a sudden blew up, and they're putting out like Watchmen shirts and Watchmen watches. He goes, "Hey, where's my cut?" And they go, "Oh, that's advertisement for your comic book." He got fucking screwed. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fuck, I hate that whole concept of well, you're getting free promotion. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Like promotion really pays the rent. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm looking at your some of your works here, and I love your style of everything.
No, thank you.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a horror nerd, so it's all right up my alley. So how do you kind of determine, like, when you're writing a story, that you're going to make it into a novel versus a comic book?
Well, initially that first story that I wrote is called Black Seas Infinity, and when I first wrote it, I wanted to be a comic book. So I remember, I mean, this is going way back. Like, you know, little me, like as a teenager, you know, I had an art table and I'd be like drawing pages, and I lived in Southern Florida, which is kind of like white trash haven, but it was right near the university, so I had like one of the few comic shops. You know, at that time there weren't that many, so I'd go there and there were indie artists there. They give me all these tips on like using Zipatone and, you know, how to do lettering and stuff like that. So I remember I kept like reworking those pages, so I finally got them of the quality. Like I was submitting them the whole time, and nobody ever replied. But I finally got them to the quality where, you know, I was part of them, and I submitted them. And I remember Paradox Press picked me up, then went bankrupt. Kitchen Sink picked me up, went bankrupt. You know, Malibu Press, same thing. And so I had this endless story of like, you know, almost, and then not going there. And I was like, what will take it to the next level? And then I went to art school, and I was like, okay, now I went to art school, you know, I should be polished enough. And I went to New York on the advice of my art teacher and interviewed with Into Hell for DC Comics. But I didn't know they were about to go bankrupt, and they only want superheroes. So,
well, yeah, I mean, if you look at, like I said, looking at your stuff, you have, like, especially in, you know, the Never Dead, you have it's I'd say a good mix of macabre versus, like, you know, old god type stuff, and even some scary stories to tell in the dark vibes too. And that's why I really love black and white drawings as well. because I think it just you're able to do so much more with black and white sometimes.
Yeah, I was really inspired by all the early pulp stuff like Doc Savage and The Shadow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Spider, all those pulp magazines, which were basically comics before comics.
Right.
So they'd have basically text, but with little pictures everywhere. What if I did the same thing, but I kind of upped the ante notch on kind of did a comic book thing, inspired by Bernie Wrightson and John Tobin. I'll do this what I think at least would be an awesome splash page and have that accompany the text. And I figure that tells you more. In the pulp magazines, when Doc Savage would do something, you go, oh, I get it. So that inspired me.
Yeah. I am. Yeah, it's, and I think sometimes too, just having panels without any text is just speaking to you as it is. You're trying to interpret it. And I'm rereading the Marvel Zombies comics books for the show that's coming out next week, and it's amazing that there's so much of the destruction and the flesh tearing. It's silent, but there's little quick snippets of artistic goriness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of I see that in your work too, and that's why it's amazing. It really is. Yeah, it's
a cliche, but that whole picture says 1,000 words is actually true.
Right. You're if you have something, that's what I think. Sometimes if you have words, you know exactly what they're seeing. But if you just have a character, you see someone that gets their head chopped off, and someone standing next to them, you can fill in with your own thoughts what you would do in that situation without it being explicitly told to you.
Right. There's something good about that kind of storytelling where it's hey, fill in the blanks with your imagination.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I always felt with comics the thing that really pops out are the splash pages, the 2/3 pages where it's really something active happens, and all that little connective in between, there's a character walking down the hallway or whatever. You're well, they kind of took me out of it a little bit because I can just tell the artist wasn't as into putting 100% into that. Mm-hmm. So it didn't feel if it's a movie, it's obviously the action goes the same. But if the artist has to draw it, he doesn't put quite as much effort into drawing a really cool scene and them walking out of the hall.
Yeah, and I get that, and that's what I've said it before. I think sometimes even no dialogue on the page is no different than having no sound in a horror movie, because sometimes silence is more terrifying.
Right. You kind of fill it in with your head.
Yeah, and they always say that no matter what you put on screen, what the human can imagine is more terrifying than what they can ever show us.
That might also be why stuff like American Psycho, the book, is more of a shock than when you actually see the movie. Mm-hmm. When you're reading the book, you picture all this horrific stuff. You watch the movie, you go, well, it's kind of tamed down.
Right. Oh, it's usually quite tamed down for adaptations from books, unfortunately.
Well, they have one scene where he has a girl nail gun to the floor, and he comes out of the fridge with a plastic bin, Tupperware bin, eating someone else's brains. It's that was not going to be in the movie.
No, not at all. And what's funny is if you're talking about American Psycho, is there's a rampant theory that it seems to be that all that stuff he just made up in his head, that he's never killed anyone, and he just plays out the scenario.
I like to think he actually did, because I really hate it when people are it was just a dream, or then he woke up. I'm no, I actually like to think it happened.
Right. Yeah, but I think some behind the scenes, the director did 3 or 4 takes of the same thing, had him convey different feelings behind it and emotion behind it. So you never knew.
Yeah.
And he just compiled it, so you don't know what is real and what isn't.
I know they did that with Blade Runner too.
Yeah.
So you're not sure if Decker is, if he's a cyborg, if he's a human. Not sure.
Until Blade Runner 2049 told us for sure.
Oh yeah.
They confirmed it in 2049 that he was right. He is a
replicant.
He's a replicant, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like for instance, when Ridley Scott did Prometheus, and he tells you the tale of the alien, I didn't feel like that was like that's his later version of it. I don't think that's what he planned when he did Alien.
No, not at all.
And like when he did the first Alien, and you have the creature that's dead in the suit, like I always imagine that's what the creature looks like. He's like, no, they just look like really big humans with suits. I was like, that sounds cool.
I completely agree. I also like the intrigue that we have John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
And you at the end, who is human and who isn't human? He's never officially stated it.
But who actually has breath? Kurt Russell has he has steam breath coming out. And what's the other guy's name?
Keith David. Keith David. Yeah.
You don't see anything coming out. So it's kind of like that tells you that he's not human.
Yeah, and
that's what I've heard.
In the 4K, you see his breath. His breath is there. You just couldn't see it in the VHS.
Oh, so, all right, maybe I'm full of shit.
No. It
my girl will tell you that's not the first time, but
no, it's amazing that that was originally the intention for his breath to be seen, but it took I don't know how many years for it to go to 4K restoration for us to see it. 30 plus years,
and hence,
yeah. But I think that's what makes a good horror piece of media is we don't have to get all the answers all the time.
Yeah.
Life is scary, and it's scarier when you don't know what's going on there. If some guys just keep going around killing people for no reason, that's more terrifying than you go, it's because he had an evil slug in his brain. Well, I don't care about that. It's more terrifying if he was just killing people for no reason.
Right.
You
mean like Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you find out, something is but it was kind of better when you didn't know. It's supposed to be, I guess, later on he was possessed by a demonic, worm creature, whatever. And you're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, what's really funny is because I just did an entire Friday the 13th rewatch for one of my podcasts I do, and he's human through the end of number 4. When he gets brought back to life as a zombie, that's when he's undead because that's the only way he could still be there. And 2009 Friday the 13th says he watched his mom get decapitated, which means he was a grown guy at that point in time. That was inspired him to go on his rampage. But it wasn't until number 6 when he was the lightning to the fence post in him that he actually became this undead killing machine.
When they made him,
I never saw 6. I saw 3 in the theater. I snuck in. So as a little kid, I saw it, and it was in 3D. And when Jason claps the guy, you see the eyeballs pop out. And I thought that was the most awesome shit ever. And that's the first one where he puts on the hockey mask, which was a total mistake that all of a sudden they go, wait a minute, that sells. We'll always have him wear the hockey mask now. But I saw 3, I saw 4, I saw 5, and then I went to go see 6 with a friend of mine, and my mom would buy us the tickets, and they said, if you buy them the tickets for this movie, you have to watch it with them. She's like, oh, no. So I never saw it.
Oh.
I don't want to watch this bullshit.
That's fair. It gets way worse as the franchise continues.
Although, actually, it might have been 6. It might have been 7. I don't remember. It's been so long. But I know they went way downhill. I still have never seen Jason Takes Manhattan, which I hear is probably one of the worst. I have seen Jason X, but it's so bad, it's almost good.
I mean, yeah, it's from Manhattan. It's Jason briefly visits, downtown, and for
that's a better name. That's a better name for it. Jason briefly visits downtown.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said, it's something that if I was able to pay Eric money for artwork, that I'd want to do when we do the cons and stuff like that is. Jason takes whatever city we're in. So Jason takes Chicago, and him just holding the map confused by the bean or on public transportation to actually have him take the city.
I remember one thing that really disappointed me is because, like, for the longest time, I was like the horror guy, when it came to tattooing. So people would bring me, presents like movies or books or whatever. So somebody brought me Crystal Lake Memories, which is like the whole story of the franchise. And apparently, the first one, I think, Sean Cunningham was the director, and and they have a quote by him where he says, how could we rip off Halloween and not get sued?
Yep.
It was like, I mean, it became great after that, but it kind of, like, I always describe Jason as like the best character in the worst movies.
Yeah. I don't know. It's Jason lives right here on my arm, right by Chucky and Michael Myers. So.
Yeah, now Jason is great. Like, none of the movies really, like, I mean, some of them are like good in like a B movie way, like Motel Hell or something, but it's like you're not like, oh my god, you gotta fucking watch that.
Oh yeah. I love Motel Hell though. Fantastic. Yeah. Great movie.
Well, there are lots of great B movies.
Mm-hmm. I love all B movies. The cheesier the better sometimes.
Well, I don't care if they're cheesy. I just care if they're boring. If they're boring, like, I don't know if you saw the movie Rubber.
Yep.
About a killer tyrant. I was just like, I'm bored. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, it's the same vein as, say, Slacks, Slaxx, which is Killer Jeans, or The Dress, which is about a killer dress. But yeah, I mean, it'll never be as good as Deathbed, the bed that eats. So.
No, what I compare it to is like, if you want to compare it to somebody who did it right, watch Black Sheep. Did you see that?
Oh, of course.
Of course. But it's like zombie sheep, but actually they made it work.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's almost the New Zealand Shaun of the Dead, essentially. It's just, I consider Dead Alive to be the New Zealand Evil Dead. So
I like Dead Alive and I liked Black Sheep better than Shaun of the Dead. Like, I just felt Shaun of the Dead was like a little bit too bro for me. It's like, hey man, hang out at the bar, drink a couple beers, listen to some tunes.
Yeah, I can see that. But I love Shaun of the Dead, but it shows the mundaneness of like what an idiot would do in a zombie apocalypse. So, I mean, besides Friday the 13th, what do you think the best horror franchise is then?
See, that's the problem because usually, like, they might do two that are really good, but it's always like the third one that falls off. Mm-hmm. So, I thought Terminator was really good for the first and second one. Third one, boom, way downhill. I thought Alien was really good for the first one. It was pretty good for the second one. I know a lot of people love the second one. I was like, yeah, but it's kind of like, Marines in space. The third one, like, boom. And better than some of them, like Pumpkinhead. Like, the first Pumpkinhead is great, but then after that, whoa, wait, deep dive. Yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, there's a lot of one-offs, and, like, if they're lucky, the sequel was good.
Right.
But, like, I could name you, like, one-offs forever. Like, The Fly was awesome. The Thing was awesome. The Mist was awesome. There's a whole bunch. Like, The Descent was awesome. Don't watch The Descent 2. The Ring was awesome. Don't watch The Ring 2.
So, fun fact, Graveyard hosts a show called They Mostly Pot Out at Night, mostly. And what they do is review bad horror movies.
We do, because we did a couple of years ago, we did all Hellraisers, because for the 2022 Hellraiser came out. And 3 of them are good. The other 10 are not.
I think I saw them through, I saw the one where he goes to space. I think that was the last one.
That was number 4.
Yeah.
It's
1 was good. 2 was pretty good. 3 was all right. 4 was like, yeah.
Yeah. Then we started calling it on their show the Hellraiser syndrome, because they had other horror movies and they go, "Why don't we show Pinhead for 30 seconds?" Therefore, boom, Hellraiser.
Right. That's kind of like with Cloverfield. Like Cloverfield, Cloverfield Lane was kind of like it was way off on the side. And Cloverfield Paradox, like they show creatures at the very end. It's like a space movie.
Yeah, and we call that too. We call that the Hellraiser, because Hellraiser was doing that well before Cloverfield was, and we have yet to find a movie that was doing that before Hellraiser. That's why we just call it the Hellraiser syndrome.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's a great way to market your really shitty horror movie script. And you sell it, hey, or just throw Michael Myers in the background, call it a Halloween movie.
Right,
sure.
Right.
What's it about? I don't know. 4th of July.
Well, I'm sure that's how they sell it too. Like I'm a big Del Toro fan. He did like the first Hellboys, he did Pan's Labyrinth and so on.
Yeah.
So I know he got and he's a big Lovecraft fan. And he got the rights to At the Mountains of Madness, which is one of Lovecraft's best stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read all of them, and that's one of my favorites. And he originally got Tom Cruise to star in it, but he said, I need at least a $200 million budget. They go, oh no, we're gonna say make that. And then he got Brad Pitt to star in it. He said, again, I need $200 million. They said, not enough. So he still has not made it. It would be amazing, but the thing is, if he said, hey, I'm gonna do a reboot of, and they named like some other franchise that people know, like Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever, they'd be like, oh, here's all the money.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Richard Stanley was going to do a trilogy of H.P. Lovecraft, because the first one was being Color Out of Space, which he did. And that was his return after Marlon Brando broke him on freaking Island of Dr. Moreau 20 years before that. And
which I've never seen, but I heard is bad.
He was going to do Den Mouse Inn. He was going to do a couple other ones, but then he got in the Me Too thing and swept up, and it turned out to be false, but they blacklisted him, so he couldn't do any more Lovecraftian stories that he had all the rights to. And
but who blacklisted him?
I don't know. It was just like he got completely turned off, like lost all funding for everything he was going to do. And we did an entire Richard Stanley episode because he did Hardware from 1990 with Dylan McDermott.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had Dust Devil, all that stuff. But
that was a good B movie.
Yes.
Speaking of good B movies, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a shame because, like I said, I want good Lovecraft movies. We don't really have them. I think the Necronomicon movie is fantastic. I think Dagon is such a bad B horror creature but I love it.
you can tell he had no budget when he did Dagon.
No, not at all.
He did The Reanimator, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He did From Beyond, which is pretty good. Neither of those I would say amazing, but I'd say they're pretty good. To me, they were a little bit too comedy, kind of like a Return of the Evil Dead, sort of like a little bit of horror, a little bit of comedy.
Yeah,
but Dagon, you could just tell he had no budget.
Yeah, which is a shame. It's I wish they would give people budgets for this stuff, but it's just I love horror. I like new creations, and I love literature to be translated as well as possible onto the screen. Yeah. Sometimes maybe a 1,000-page book shouldn't be an hour-and-a-half movie. Looking at you, freaking remake of why can't I think of it?
It's not bad.
Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot.
Right.
The new Salem's Lot was atrocious.
I did not see that. I saw the old one.
Yes, that was much better. Much better.
Right.
But they completely butchered the entire story. And it's a shame because, maybe we need to have, if The Hobbit, which is a 200-page book, can be 3 movies, maybe a 1,000-page book can be 3
That movie did not need to be 3 fucking movies. I'm sorry. It did not need to be 3 fucking movies.
Correct. You're correct.
I didn't see that. It's like Lord of the Rings was just a little bit too fancy, and after Game of Thrones, I was like, I can't deal with fancy. I need more violence.
So you're saying watching 13 dwarves dance on barrels and singing wasn't good fantasy for you?
Yeah, sorry, dude. Just didn't do it for me.
That's a shame. Oh man. Well,
At least he weren't CGI, but yeah.
it's close enough. I just heard very recently that they approached Vigo to appear in The Hobbit, and he said no. He's like, my character has nothing to do with that story. I shouldn't be in there. Like, oh, okay. And they get Legolas, but it had nothing to do with The Hobbit.
God, thank God somebody was nerdy enough to say no.
I know.
They approached Viggo Mortensen about that.
Yeah.
I loved when he did A History of Violence. Did you see that?
Oh, dude, another really good comic book movie.
The History of Violence was great. I thought Northern Promises was really good too.
Yeah. It's amazing what you're able to do and what you're not able to do. You know, do you ever envision your works coming into a movie form or like an animated style or even just black and white like Sin City?
I was going to bring that up actually. So Frank Miller, when he did the Dark Knight Rises in Hollywood, came calling because such a big seller and everybody was talking, how great it was, and they asked him to write RoboCop. He's like, "Oh, well, I'd love to. I love RoboCop." So he wrote a script for RoboCop 2, and then they ready to go, "You know what? You might be a great writer, but you don't know Hollywood." So then they hired somebody else and they had them rewrite it. And then all the test audiences said, "That's fucking crap. You gotta do it again." So then they went back to him and they said, "Hey, can you rewrite it but with some of the edits of the new writer?" And he's like, "No, go fuck yourself." So if you watch RoboCop 2, there are 3 writers credited, and that's why. And then after that, like I remember again because I'm old, and I read stuff like I read comic books like magazines about the industry, and like he was saying, "I will never deal with Hollywood again. I will never have anything to do with them." And then Rodriguez, when he came to him, said, "I will let you co-direct with me." And they actually kicked Rodriguez out of the Directors Guild over that. But he didn't care. He still had Fred Miller do it with them, and so it came out right. So all I was going to say with that long point I'm making is that, if I get a hand in it, yeah, sure. If they just, hey, we'll give you some money, take your property, and then we'll mangle it like we did the Spawn movie, then no.
Yeah, I mean, Todd McFarlane's Spawn animated show was great, but the movie was awful.
I hear they're making a new one, and they're supposedly getting it right. We'll see.
Well, McFarlane is directly involved in this one, and they're basing it on Sam and Twitch. So they're going to do like the kind of the Godzilla thing where you kind of get glimpses of Spawn through the movie, but it primarily focuses around Sam and Twitch, which was the original comic book to begin with.
Oh, you're not gonna have that big CGI cloak?
I hope so. I hope it's even bigger, more holes.
that was the worst part.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we do have to give credit to John Leguizamo because he fucking killed it as Clown, though.
Well, John Leguizamo is good in everything. He was great in John Wick.
Yeah, I was gonna say until the fucking Violator came in, it's like that would be fine, but Violator, like, it took me out of the whole fucking movie. But like the practical effects with Clown were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of surprised that John Wick was not a comic. Because it felt very much like a comic brought to life as a movie.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing though that some people I've seen some people's storyboards that are panels of a comic.
Right.
And like I said, that's why I think Frank Miller stuff works well because they literally just use his comic as the storyboards. It like almost shot for shot, and it's amazing they're able to do that. And then you have other stuff that can't get anyone right. You know. In a comic movie, like, oh, we have 60 years of comics. What panel should we adapt? How about none of them?
How about we?
That's a bold choice.
Yeah.
or like fucking we were talking about this the other night. Or Halo, and let not fucking take any of the lore from the video game. We're just gonna make a brand new thing. You know what? I think he doesn't wear the helmet in the entire game, right? Like he doesn't wear the armor most of the game. You're usually just running around as a guy, and then you got a couple of times where you get to run around as the armor. It makes it like exciting for the game. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Speaking of helmet, I have a guy that he's a huge Judge Dredd fan, and he had me do a whole back piece of Judge Dredd on him. He's like really into the British version of Judge Dredd, and he fucking hates the Stallone movie. Like,
well, because you never see his face.
I know Stallone just like, oh, you gotta see my face. I have such a significant, handsome face. You gotta see it. So that ruins it. Like he was like posturing for the camera. That's not a Judge Dredd. But if anyone saw the movie Dredd is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
but a lot of people didn't watch it because they thought, oh, it's a remake of that crappy Stallone movie.
Right, and what's his name?
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban specifically. They wanted him to take off the helmet, and he goes, well, he to this day he hasn't taken the helmet off in the comics. So why would I take it off? And
good for him.
I love that he's enough of a comic nerd that he needs. Right?
You know who else is what's his name who was in The Witcher?
Oh, Henry Cavill. He's a massive nerd. I love Henry.
So apparently they were trying to like veer off of the original source material, and apparently he annoyed everyone on set because he's like, it's got to be loyal to the source material. And they're like, no, we want to do this. Finally, he's just like, all right, I'm out. And he quit.
Yeah, that's
no, but you're The Witcher. And he's like, no, I quit. I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, he was an awesome Witcher, but it's good that he had that integrity.
And then it's funny is the entire time, I loved all 3 seasons of the Witcher that he was in. What I was waiting for the whole time was for him to get the second sword.
I don't even know what the second sword is.
So he at least in they mention it in the books a little bit. In the games, he has 2 swords, and one is a sword for killing monsters, the other one is a sword for everything else.
Okay.
Yeah. And the sword that he has for killing monsters is like it's like an ancient sword that's been like partially broken, so it's like more like a dagger. It's kind of dope, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have I know that 3rd season where he like breaks his back and basically everything is done by the girl. Is that in the source material, or did they alter that a lot?
A lot of the stuff that they did in the show was in the source, so like the relationship he has with Yennefer, they really do go into the relationship with him in Ciri, which is really cool. I know that they like
right. Ciri kind of comes out as like that really like Valkyrie kind of like powerful warrior.
She eventually does in the books. She takes over his spot, and that's what they're doing in the next game, and people are freaking out.
Of course they are.
People are freaking out because they're like, "Oh man, you're gonna make a woman the main character in the game? Like, she's the main character in the book. Why are you guys freaking out about this?"
I think part of it is because people kind of overplay the hand with the whole like, we gotta make women warriors, but it's like if it's a good story, nobody fucking cares.
Right?
Like, how badass was Sarah Connor in Terminator 2?
Oh yes.
Or how badass was
fucking Ripley?
Ripley in Alien. Yeah. She was fucking awesome. Sigourney Weaver. Yeah. And nobody said, wait a minute, did you just put a girl in there because you're woke? It's like nobody fucking cared in 1979. They're like, this is just a good fucking story.
Yeah. Well, I think what helped Ripley a lot is Ripley was supposed to be is written as a guy part, and then she just came in and took the exact lines that Ripley had as a dude. So I think it worked out really well.
Oh wow, yeah, no, she did a really good job.
Yeah, because I think it's 1979, right? If they wrote talk about horror movies in the 70s and 80s, she would have been the screamy final girl, and her taking that role, just kind of like how Aubrey Plaza did in the X-Men show, Legion. She played the guy. Her role was a dude in the comic, but she played it as she was playing that dude character from the comic, and I think it worked out really well.
She fucking killed that role, and that's not just because she's my hall pass,
It's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, Phil, I think it's about that time. You have some really tough questions for me.
Dude, I've got the hardest question that you're ever going to be asked. Are you ready? to do this shit. What is your favorite kind of taco?
My favorite kind of taco. I lived in Austin, Texas, and they have like taco carts there, and they have the best barbecue and the best Mexican food I've ever had in Austin, and they kind of combine it. So it's like brisket tacos. They're amazing.
I have had brisket tacos, and they're actually pretty good. I will not say that they're blasphemy because they are delicious. What's some advice that you might have for somebody who's trying to get into the industry, man? Like if they want to get into writing, artistry, any part of the comic industry, what's some advice you might have for them?
Just if you think that you got something, don't give up, because everybody's gonna shoot you down. Like I don't know how many times I submitted to like Marvel and DC and Image and Malibu and all these comic companies, and then at first for a long time actually they're like, yeah, and they're not dicks, but they're kind of like, oh, all right, well, thank you, and they're like, dude, how do I fucking break out? And I remember like being a kid meeting Neil Gaiman doing a signing at a local comic shop, and I was like, and he was nice. He was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I was like, oh dude, I'm on my way. No, you're not. But the thing is, don't give up. Keep trying.
Yeah, that's dope. I like that, man. Advice. So gotta ask this. Who would win in a fight? Now, before I give you the two people, right? This is going to be like in the form of if you were writing it. Okay. So if you rewrote this fight and you had free reign to write this fight, who would win in the end of this fight? Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, Jason all day. I'm not a huge fan of Freddy. I really like that first Nightmare on Elm Street, especially when John Depp gets set down through the bed and that squirt of blood comes up. Mm-hmm. But it's like after that, it just became such like a laughable character. It's like, but like I told you guys earlier, Jason is the best character in the worst movies. It's like this undead zombie who just fucking kills everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, man.
It's fair.
So what's next for you, man? I know you've got a Kickstarter going up live right now. When you shot everything to us, specifically, it was about Down Highways in the Dark by Demons Driven.
Right. So I have kind of a cosmic horror series that I'm working on. So I have a first book that's like one full story, and then Down Highways has like stories that are kind of the same universe. Like kind of comic books, like they keep that same universe, but they're not direct on that first book. And the third one is a follow up to the first book, but I keep them kind of loose, like Mad Max to Road Warrior. So it's not like you have to read one to read the other. But I was just going to keep that up. So the last few years I've been doing anthologies, so like I'll contribute to them, and a bunch of people I know contribute to them as well. And I figure like it just, you see what else is out there, it helps you hone your craft, and it just makes you think outside the box. But I'd really like to do a sequel to that third book I put out, because like the end of that third book is like basically there are these main characters, the whole U.S. is falling apart, and they kind of like fall into this thing that's kind of like a Stargate. And they end up in a version of the U.S. that's like in a different dimension. So there's been this giant alien invasion, and a bunch of people have died and all this stuff. So they got to fight through all that, And then no spoilers, so I'm not gonna tell you what happens. But it's like it's like these people who've like had a really hard time. Some of them actually get shot and killed. The ones that make it and they fall through the Stargate, it's like, boom, now the next one is going to be them there. And I'm taking like all these notes and stuff. And like my dad's like military. He's been in every war since Vietnam. And so I was asking him, I was like, how does a small force fight an invading force? So he like was recommending all these books to me and stuff like that. So I try to, because I'm a little OCD, I try to do a deep dive into everything. So I really want to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I would hate it when we'd watch like movies as a kid or TV shows like the A-Team, you know. And my dad's like, I mean, my dad's Army and he's like, you know, big into guns. So like in the A-Team, they'll be like shooting like 20 times. He's like, that's a 6-shot revolver. How did they shoot 20 times? Like you don't shoot the gun like this. If you do this, you're gonna break your fucking wrist. Like you shoot like this, you know. And like if you shoot like this, you'll be deaf. Like if you don't smack you in the forehead, you'll be like. So you just pick everything apart. So I don't want that to be me. So I wanted to do tons of research.
I do that shit all the time. Like I was also Army. I point out like all the dumbest shit. Just like, oh god, that's so fucking unrealistic, or that fucking uniform looks fucking stupid, man. Like, why the fuck are they doing that shit? You know, like, and I understand why they do that because there's a certain point where it becomes stolen valor, so they have to change parts of the uniform in order to make it so it's not stolen valor.
Yeah, but you know somebody's going to call it out.
Yeah,
and sometimes like if it's bad enough, it ruins the whole thing for me. Like I don't know if you saw the movie Armageddon.
Oh yeah.
Well, anything Michael Bay does is not that great. But anyways, in Armageddon, like the whole key to the whole thing is that the drilling the meteor, and Bruce Willis goes, "Wait, I hear something. It's a void of space. You wouldn't hear shit. You just ruined the whole fucking movie."
Right, you can't hear the void of space, dude. Why you have dementia, bro?
I don't know. I don't think anybody should watch Michael Bay. So, you know, just as a side note, unless you want to watch Transformers because you like Megan Fox. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, and Transformers was the fucking worst version of Transformers. So,
I think that the Beast Wars thing they just did was the worst version of Transformers.
I haven't even watched it yet, man. I'm so disappointed in live action Transformers movies because it's just like I don't want to see. I don't want to connect with the people. I just want to see robots fighting each other.
But you gotta watch it all blurry and mechanical sounds, so you can't see what's going on. Perfect.
Yeah, just watch Pacific Rim. Like that would pull a lot better.
Yeah. No, if I'm gonna watch,
they do fight kaiju. It's not really the same thing, but yeah.
if I'm gonna watch, if I'm gonna watch a Transformers movie, it's the fucking the animated movie. You got the power.
I'll be I'll be at the tattoo shop and I'll quote stuff from like the G.I. Joe cartoon.
Yeah,
remember that? At the end they go, what was it? They go, fuck, what was it? I quote it all the time. Now I can't fucking remember it because I'm having a brain fart. But it's like, oh yeah, it goes. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle. Go.
I'm like, and that's half the battle. Now you know. You know, people are like, what? I'm like, G.I. Joe, the real major hero. And they're like, what?
I do that shit all the time. Anytime anybody says, and now you know, I always answer with, and knowing is half the battle.
Right, exactly.
Well, remember, the other half is red lasers and blue lasers.
Or I'll say, more than meets the eye, you know, something like some clue that like nobody that was like born, you know, in the last 10 years or 20 years or whatever would know anything about.
Right. So, and we're just like cringy dudes from the 80s. It's great.
Speaking of which, I have a truck with the stick shift. I'm like, that will never get stolen.
Yeah.
They'll be like, wait, how do I start this thing?
That's fucking great, man. So what's all of your social medias, man? Give all your plugs. Anything you want to plug out right now. You know, if you want to replug the Kickstarter, anything like that. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about Dan Henk?
Well, my name is pretty much on everything. So like it's Henk with an E. It's Dan, D-A-N, and then Henk, H-E-N-K. Like a lot of people get that wrong. But if you do that, like I'm on way too much stuff. I'm on Instagram. And actually I'm author Dan Henk on Instagram. You know, I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, I'm on Blue Sky. I'm like too much stuff, but I feel as an artist you gotta do that.
Yeah.
Last thing I want is to work a factory job. So yeah, whatever you gotta do to keep myself from doing that.
Awesome.
Well, thanks, man. We appreciate you coming
Yes.
and talking with us and talking about your project and everything like that. We're gonna do some bracket stuff now. So if you want to stick around and keep nerding with us, man, you are more than welcome.
Sure.
All right. Before we get in the bracket, Phil, do you want to show us where you're at in your build there?
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. I'm having trouble with this goddamn piece. It just doesn't want to connect here. I don't know what the hell's happening. Basically, I've just been building water this entire time.
Ooh, water.
building the shape of water.
That's a good movie. I like that.
I never actually watched that movie, so I have no idea.
It's Creature from Black Lagoon if they had sex.
It basically is, yeah. But with like a little bit of romance mixed in.
Uh-huh.
That sounds absolutely not amazing.
What? It's great.
And wait, and government conspiracies.
Okay, now I'm gonna watch it.
If you ever want to see Abe Sapien from Hellboy get freaky, that's the movie for you.
I've seen The Shape of Water. I'm saying,
Oh,
I
man.
think Abe Sapien was a little bit like, he was kind of geeky. He was like, like he could barely talk to people. I don't know. I feel like that creature in the shape of water was like a little bit more of like over the top. Like, yeah, I'll try the chicks. I'll definitely have sex with them.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna bang this this water monster thingy.
Well, that happened. So, spoiler alert. Yeah.
So you guys can see kind of where I'm at with this. Hold on, let me get over here. Okay. So I've just been building water basically.
But it's the frame of everything.
Right. The idea is the orca is going to sit in the front of this. So like all this is just like waves off the side of the boat. You weren't here when I finished the orca, so I'm going to pull it on screen so you can see it.
Ooh.
So, you're going to need a bigger boat.
Like I said, though, they didn't need a bigger boat. They did just fine with the size boat they had.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I heard that the guy who plays was it Quint? The guy who plays him. I heard that he was a nightmare to work with. Like always drunk, always late.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I read the guy that wrote Jaws. I read his book about the production of Jaws and just all into that and just nightmare. And
the idea is the boat when it sits on there, it's pushing the water out in the waves.
Nice.
So, yeah, building the water so that I can build Bruce.
Yep.
What it really comes down to is I'm just doing all this so I can fucking finally build Bruce.
I think it'd been really funny if the kit didn't come with Bruce.
That would be funny if it's just the orca. Who the fuck is the orca?
Exactly. Or just like like a quarter of the kits came with Bruce because of the malfunctions.
Boat's fine. Boat's fine.
There you go. All right. So you
Two
ready?
men come in, one man go out.
You ready to get into the brackets then? And we have to have chat here to tell us. So we've been doing a best trilogies bracket, Dan, and we have 3 top tier contenders for what is going to be the best trilogy of all time, according to us on the internet. We are the authorities of that.
The authority on the internet. Hold on. I am gonna put in fucking all points bulletin out right now. Like, get in the fucking chat, you assholes.
Exactly. Gotta do that. But yeah, so the first bracket we left with the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy winning that bracket. And then we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise win the second bracket. And then finally, Meet the Parents won the third bracket, which is pretty interesting how it got there. So that's where we're at. So, while we're waiting for chat to wake up here, that's where we're at. So between these 3s, Dan, which one do you think is the better trilogy?
Well, I think definitely the Christopher Nolan one. the only thing I say is like I wasn't a big fan of Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just felt like the other movies, both the other movies were really good, and that one just like, it's okay. But definitely better than the other trilogies. So that gets my vote.
Okay. Yeah, and I say Si Wong and Tater there. Si Wong says meet the parents. Phil, how about you?
We're doing Dark Knight versus Meet the Parents right now.
Dark Knight versus Meet the Parents versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We're doing. Oh fuck.
It's a trilogy of trilogies here.
I think I'm gonna go with. Dark Knight trilogy, and it's just because it is essentially a masterpiece when it comes to like filmmaking. Well, at least for the first two, the third one kind of dropped the ball a little bit, but was still a good movie. Just wasn't as good as the first two.
You get for age.
Huh?
Sorry. Whatever term you want to use.
Yeah, because I mean, like, the first movie was like a great reintroduction to Batman. The second movie is just amazing in the characterization of the Joker, characterization of kind of this reinterpretation of Two-Face, and kind of like all the different things. And then the third movie, kind of what throws me off. Like I love the take on Bane. I hated that Batman decided to quit for 10 years because he was a fucking crybaby. So it's like, that's not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne wouldn't quit being Batman for 10 years just because fucking cry wow wow.
He would just go beat up more poor people. Yes,
he would. He would just go and beat more fucking. He would go and beat the shit out of more mentally ill people.
Yeah, it begs the question: did Christopher Nolan make the third one not so good so he wouldn't have to make any more?
He was supposedly working on Superman and he backed out.
Exactly. So, I don't think Meet the Parents should have won that trilogy bracket at all. Of that one. TMT, I love the first two. Absolutely despise the third one. It's awful, but yeah, I think Dark Knight trilogy of these three is definitely the best one. And this is coming from not a DC guy too, which is shocker. I'm saying that, but yeah, I'm going Dark Knight. So Dark Knight, more Dark Knights in there. Yeah, poor Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I feel so sorry for them. They didn't make it.
So sorry for them.
Hey, if it wasn't for the third one, how did the Japanese ever learn about personal pan pizzas? Okay.
Oh my god.
And they brought Elias Koteas back for basically not a role as Casey Jones. I'd argue that we've not gotten a decent Casey Jones show in any Turtles movie.
You take that back. There was a decent Casey Jones in the animated fourth movie in that series.
You think that one was good?
I actually like
Was that Sarah Michelle Gellar as April?
As April O'Neil.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed that movie. Okay, it was good. It was fun. Okay, I'll take that back. It was fun.
We haven't had a good Casey Jones in the live action Turtles movie. How about that?
No, that I'll agree with. There has not been a good live action Casey Jones.
Yeah, not in the slightest. So, all right. Well, by the powers vested in us by the internet gods, the Dark Knight trilogy by Christopher Nolan is the best trilogy of all time.
I'm not mad at that. That is something I can agree on.
I would say up there, not as good, but up there would be like Indiana Jones. Like 1, 2, and 3 of that were good.
It got voted out because you gotta remember this whole thing is that it's the chat voting on what advances in each round.
Oh, I believe it. I just wanted to throw it out there just to be obnoxious. Yeah.
Well,
no, that's right. It wasn't in
here. It has to be a trilogy. Indiana Jones is not a trilogy.
Well, I just consider like the way I think of stuff is like if I don't like all the sequels, I just pretend like they don't exist. Like I pretend like after Injustice for All, Metallica just died.
There you go. I'd like to think that too, but yeah, because if I expanded that logic to everything, people are talking like, oh, you have to have the Iron Man trilogy. Iron Man's not a trilogy in itself, so I couldn't include all that stuff. So I had to be very strict with my rules. So also, chat was
I
had a
also
summer
only
list
think
Star
the
Wars.
first one was really good.
Yeah, I love Temple of Doom though. So
No, I don't mean. I mean Iron Man.
oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's very true too. Iron Man 2's
It's all right.
Whiplash was atrocious. Let's go with that.
Hey, where's my board?
No one cares. All right.
Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't think that was the best role for Mickey Rourke. Although Angel Heart was awesome.
Where's my board? Not the right kind of bird. He had a fucking cockatoo, but I mean, still.
He did. But yes, and we also took out all Star Wars because if we put Star Wars in any bracket, Star Wars automatically wins. So to actually have a legit bracket.
That's true because I would have voted for that. Yeah.
Yeah. We had to, in order for there to be any kind of competition, we had to pick something.
Yep, because chat can't vote anything that isn't Star Wars.
100%.
Anything.
I cannot vote for anything that isn't Star Wars.
Yep. So they got
That's
banned
another
from it
franchise that just pretend like doesn't exist after a while. Like what?
No, I'm in our chat. I was saying hi to Kai. Kai is usually on our buzzer show. I usually don't see him on our main show, so it's kind of cool to see him in there.
All right. Wow. Chat, it's finally here. We are taking the same movies from our trilogies to make the best of, and now we're going to say what is the worst trilogy of all time. So first, I'll give you the rundown of trilogy list number 1. We have Dumb and Dumber. We have the Dollars trilogy, so Fistful of Dollars trilogy. We have the Cube trilogy. We have the Hobbit trilogy, Dark Knight trilogy, the Cars trilogy, Aladdin, Ace Ventura, Cloverfield, Creepshow, Beastmaster, Beverly Hills Chihuahua, Godfather, Angels of the Outfield, Charlie's Angels, Big Mama. Naked Gun can't be in it anymore. Dang it. I was hoping we get to it before then. Lord of the Rings, their Cornetto trilogy, the Three Color trilogy, which no one knows, the Before trilogy, which with Ethan Hawke is Before Dawn, Before Sunset, all that stuff. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, The Basket Case, Butterfly Effect, Carnosaur, Evil Dead, Crocodile Dundee, Bill and Ted, Black Christmas, Back to the Future, and Blade. So, first up is Dumb and Dumber versus the Fistful of Dollars trilogy. Which one's the worst of the two?
Oh, Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, Fistful of Dollars is the Dollars trilogy was amazing. I made this argument, and it made it pretty far in that bracket. Considered probably one of the best trilogies of all time, just because of the cultural impact that all three of those movies made. Dumb and Dumber, okay, first one's good. Second one, When Harry Met Lloyd, okay, it was funny, but wasn't anything to cry home about. Third one, nobody fucking remembers it. So,
I remember it. It was really, really bad.
Hence, nobody fucking remembers it. So,
yeah, bad movies seem to stick with
me.
Yeah, bad movies seem to stick with me in my memory and live there forever. So, I don't know why. All right, so say one.
When Twilight be on the list?
It's not a trilogy.
Oh no,
it's 4 of them.
They had 4 movies.
Oh, okay. They all suck so bad. They just all.
Yeah. Oh, well, that'd be almost an automatic win at that point. All right, chat. We'll give you another 20 seconds here for Dumb and Dumber versus the Dollars trilogy, which we're voting on the worst trilogies of all time here. I mean, unless some people don't think the Dollar trilogy is good, I think Dumb and Dumber is going to move on in this.
Is there anybody in here that believes that the Dollars trilogy was bad?
I'm going to go with there's most people in here that haven't seen the Dollars trilogy.
They may not even know what the Dollars trilogy is.
Correct.
We do have, I mean, there are kids that watch this fucking show. I can't wait. I can't wait to see all the comments like as they come in later on, and just see how many people are like, "Yeah, don't know anything about that trilogy," and then they go to see Clint Eastwood and like, "How did I miss these?" Like, yeah, they're fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yes, Frager, worst trilogy. Yes. Sandra says she is. A wild Frey has appeared in chat. Sandra's like, yeah, what is it? Well, if Sandra's never seen the Dollar trilogy, I think you should do that Monday night instead of your Geek Game night. Just saying. Just saying.
All right, so we're gonna watch all 3 of the Dollars movies.
All right, so Dumb and Dumber is moving on. Next up, we have The Cube, the Fantastic Horror franchise that it is, versus the Hobbit trilogy.
Which one's worse?
Yeah. Is the Hobbit that egregious as a trilogy that it overcomes the horror franchise that most people don't seem to know about because it's Canadian?
I've actually seen the first 2 cubes and none of the Hobbits.
I mean, is that because the cube's better in your opinion?
The first cube is good. The second one is like, eh.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Hobbit is definitely the worst trilogy of those 2. I love the Cube to no end. So
yeah, I was gonna say my issue with the Hobbit trilogy, and I've made this argument in the past before. My issue with the Hobbit trilogy is that they made it a trilogy. Is though that movie did not like that. There was no reason to make a trilogy out of those movies.
Correct.
That was easily, especially given the length of the book, that was easily something that they could have done in one movie, which is what they should have done.
Yeah. Oh, we have a wild Mezzo in the chat too.
Mezzo!
So what are you saying then, Phil? Cubes or Hobbits?
I think I'm going Hobbitses, man. Hobbitses.
We're sorry, Peter Jackson. You can still come on my show, though, Peter. It's okay.
Oh, absolutely. Peter Jackson, if you ever want to come on either of our shows, Graveyard's got you for all the weird-ass obscure horror you did back in the day.
Hell yeah.
I've got you on everything else.
I'll get you twice, though.
Yeah, because you're gonna be co-hosting this show. So.
Yep. A retired Mezzo. Yeah, Mezzo is retired.
A retired Mezzo has appeared in the forest.
Hobbits I think Hobbits other than Say Wong, who apparently loves Legolas.
Legolas did not appear in the book. There's no reason for him to be there.
Yeah, but it's Legolas. Come on. He's sexy.
Okay, that's the reason to fuck with the canon in an otherwise amazing book.
Yep. All right. Well, Hobbitses move on. Damn shame. All right, now James is
move on.
Oh, it's in the worst trilogy. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. All right. Now, if James was here, this would be a hard one for him. It's Cars versus Dark Knight. I mean, clearly, Cars. If somehow Dark Knight gets into this,
it would best and worst.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Don't make me use your real name. So give me reasons why it wouldn't be Cars, other than clean slate.
I've never seen a single Cars.
So this is where it gets difficult because the Cars trilogy is actually really fucking good.
Oh my god! If you like the Larry the Cable Guy, sure, you love number 2.
Well, okay, no. Number 2 is like the blemish because like number 1 was a really good story. Number 2, like I said, kind of a blemish because it was more of a cash grab than it was, them continuing the series.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 3, they brought it back. There was a lot of emotion. It was really good storytelling. So that's where I get a little conflicted with it.
Yeah. So you want to think Cars was actually good. So
that's what I'm saying. Like Cars was good, but the Dark Knight trilogy we just voted is the best trilogy. So like,
right. How could it lose?
It would be kind of cool if it lost and won.
It would. It would be pretty amazing.
It is both the best and the worst.
Exactly, yeah.
Because we are going to do the best versus the worst when this is all said and done.
Oh god, and if it's Batman versus Batman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, because remember, kind of like how we did villains versus heroes, the way I did the brackets was who's a better hero, not who's a more interesting, who's a better hero versus a better villain. So this is going to be, when it comes down to it, is the best trilogy better than being the best trilogy than the worst trilogy being the worst trilogy? You know what I mean?
And if they're both Batman,
yeah,
simultaneously they are the best and the worst at the same time.
I like to say Wong says 3 was versus high tech. If you consider live living creatures high tech, because just because they're cars doesn't mean they're not. It's like, hey, who would win in a fist fight? Michael Keaton's Batman versus Alan Richfield, right? Like,
Alan Rickson as Batman.
Right.
Rickson as Batman. I mean, as badass as they made him in Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Rickson as Batman is gonna fucking shit all over him, dude. Like he's gonna shit in his mouth.
Right. It's also saying like, hey, who would win in a fist fight, Michael Keaton or Adam West? Like they're not the same thing.
Michael Keaton all fucking day. I've got money on that. Although Michael Keaton did not run on a fucking pier with a big ass bomb, like cartoon bomb on his hand though. So,
I mean, that's true. In that universe, it was Robin that lugged the big bomb everywhere. They couldn't get rid of it. And Batman forever.
Forever.
I mean, tell me that wasn't a callback to the you can't get rid of the bomb. I fully believe that bomb scene at the.
No, but here's a joke: is that Batman was a bomb?
Not as bad as Batman and Robin. Let me make Batgirl freaking Alfred's niece. Yeah, that's never been a thing. Sorry.
But it's the difference between a bomb and a nuclear bomb. That was like an over the top, killed the franchise.
Yeah.
But also part of that was also because like Commissioner Gordon was like a cartoon character in that set of movies.
Yes.
So
you don't think it was nipples on the Batman outfit?
The bat nipples, yeah.
Where are the nipples supposed to go if not there? All right. Well, next up, Cars is moving forward. Next up, this one might be difficult, is we have the Aladdin trilogy versus Ace Ventura.
I'm gonna go with Aladdin mainly because the only one, and this is gonna be a hot take, the only one that was worth watching was the first one.
I've never seen a single one.
Consider yourself lucky.
Yeah. Ace Ventura.
I saw the first one. Actually, I saw the first and second.
The first and the second were good. More so like where I kind of jump into like what I'm saying is the first one was for Aladdin. The first one was a classic. It's a really good movie. The second one, The Return of Jafar, nah, it was okay. And then the Aladdin and the 40 Thieves was like fucking forgettable as fuck. So I'm like,
I mean, it went straight to DVD land. So you know.
right.
So you're saying that Aladdin is the worst because it only had one strong movie versus two?
Versus a series that had two strong movies, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ace Ventura, classic, and number two, when him just being naked and squeezing out of that rhino's ass was just hysterical. We laughed at the sweaty man's coming out of rhino's ass for like 20 minutes. So
yeah, I was laughing hysterically the entire time with that movie. So
yeah, Sandra's saying Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, the worst movie.
She didn't find them funny.
What?
Yeah.
How do you not find funny?
But yeah, so we can say then Aladdin's the worst one, Dan, just because you haven't seen them.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, if they're really good and you didn't see them, that'd be one thing.
I also feel like there's a level of we don't want to make a Disney movie or Disney franchise the worst, like in the worst franchise. But I mean, like it's and knowing our chat that there might be a level of that.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, a level of no Disney franchises. They can't be the worst.
That's called James.
And James isn't even in the fucking chat.
Nope. All right. Well, Aladdin, unfortunately, could not rub his lamp hard enough anymore. Just doesn't work.
Dun dun.
Oh wait, hold on. I've got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The last one up before it's time to end the show is going to be the Cloverfield trilogy versus the Creepshow trilogy.
Oh shit.
Because Creepshow 1 and 2, great. Creepshow 3, we don't talk about.
We don't talk about Creepshow.
I thought 2 was kind of a drop for 1 too. Like 1 is classic.
Yeah.
2, like there was some good stuff. Like what's that one with like the oil slick on the water that like eats people? That was good,
Yeah.
but like the wounded Indian, I was like, whatever.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't disagree. And I'd almost argue that it's that way with Cloverfield because I think 1 is fantastic. I think 10 Cloverfield Lane, not as a Cloverfield movie, was phenomenal.
Yep,
It was absolutely great. Cloverfield Paradox is a cheesy sci-fi that I don't necessarily care for. Man, so which one? It really comes down to which one.
See, I don't mind a cheesy sci-fi. Like,
yeah,
you know. So I like it's. I mean, it's definitely like a sci-fi channel type movie, but you know, it's like I don't know. I didn't think it was horrible.
So which one, Dan, for you is the worst trilogy then between those two?
I don't know. I would say Cloverfield because I say Cloverfield still has some redeeming qualities.
So I think he's saying Cloverfield is the better one.
Yeah. Ah, man. What about you, Phil?
I would say Cloverfield is the better.
Is the better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. Creepshow 3 was just so bad.
Yeah, because like in the end with Cloverfield, it's like, yeah, the third movie wasn't the strongest of the 3, but it was still a decent movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was still a decent movie. Like I you know, we are doing Creepshow on our rewatches stuff and reviews here relatively soon. And like, man, I don't want to watch Creepshow 3. Like, I'll watch Cloverfield Paradox.
Right.
My wife loves it, but like I don't want to watch Creepshow 3. I really don't. That's why I have to go with it. And that's saying something for it to be a bad horror movie. It's not because it's bad because it's cheesy. It's bad because it's bad.
Yeah.
A badly written movie's completely different, in my opinion. All right. Well, that's where we'll have it for the bracket for today.
I was going to say, check it out, Grave.
Yep.
So water is done.
Uh-huh.
There's a cylinder in the water right there.
I see. Yeah.
And then in the front, Jaws.
I
You're gonna need
guess.
And I guess the way that it sits on this is it's supposed to come kind of off the edge of this. So
Okay.
when you put it on here, it looks like it's like that.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
Yeah, so like it's kind of cool because it's like coming off the edge of the platform.
I like it. Like it a lot.
Are you
And then-
gonna have a half chewed up Quint? That'd be kind of cool. I'm just saying, from my horror perspective, I think that'd be cool.
Just rip off his legs and just put him on the boat. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I did a tattoo a long time ago, but the guy's chest, it was all like the shark eating him. So it's like half of him eating, like blood everywhere. I thought it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so
All right,
the
Phil.
last little bit here, I'm just gonna put the pieces back in the thing here. But starting next week, I get to start on Bruce, so that's gonna be fun.
Ooh, it's exciting.
Yeah, I finally get to build the fucking shark.
Everyone's there only for the shark anyway. It's okay. It's okay. Except when he's underwater in like an amusement park in like ankle deep water. There's a shark in there. Look at you, Jaws 4. Look at you.
I think I'll see a shark.
All right. Yeah, and DeLong family, you're right. Bad horror movies usually bad story. Yeah, that really is. I will forgive lack of funds for special effects, for scenery, all that stuff. I will not blame lack of funds on the bad story.
I think the worst horror movie I ever saw was, I think Fangoria magazine did it. It was like just called Zombie. It's like a guy gets bitten by a zombie, and the whole movie is him slowly turning into a zombie in a hotel room. That's the whole movie.
What the fuck?
Yep. Yeah.
Is it
I mean-
like it maybe I don't know. I was gonna say maybe it would have been better if it was French.
Well, definitely if you ate somebody French, but yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, the worst horror movie has to be Birdemic 3.
Birdemic. How is it that we always find a way to get back around to fucking Birdemic?
So I will always find a way to talk about Birdemic.
It's like, yeah, no, we're always gonna find a way to make Birdemic a thing.
Mhm.
Fucking movie.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, if you like bad horror, man.
It's among
Birdemic.
Birdemic.
So
The worst fucking CGI and the worst special effects.
I don't know. I just saw it accidentally. At my studio, I have a TV and I play movies. So somebody's like, "Hey, what should I watch?" I was like, "Well, that Worlds with Tom Cruise wasn't that bad." So they put that on, but it turns out it's the Ice Cube one, like the one that just came out. Dude, that is so fucking bad. Like it looks like somebody shot it on their phone.
Yeah, I listened
it's
to
Screen Life.
Yeah, I listened to a review of it, and it's like I have no reason to watch this movie. I am not going to watch this.
You should.
Screen
I would
Life
say
can
you
do
should
well.
almost watch it just to see how bad movies should be. But I wouldn't even say that. It's fucking horrible.
Mhm.
Fucking bad, man. Oh,
There's
God.
aliens attacking. How do you know? I'm looking at my screen that you can't see. It's right here in front of me. Great movie. Thanks.
Oh man.
You shall not pass!
Well, guys, let's get into some pluggables here. So, Dan, I'm gonna have you drop your plugs all over again here, man. Tell everybody where they can find you. Everything that you're doing, man. Plug the Kickstarter again. All that stuff.
Definitely check out my Kickstarter. It's called. This is actually a Natalie Moore quote from a Swamp Thing. I just sold this quote. It's called Down Highways in the Dark by Demons Driven. And he has Abigail say that in one of the Swamp Thing stories. But then I'm Dan Henk on everything. I'm danhenk.com, Dan Henk on Instagram, Dan Henk on Facebook, Dan Henk on Twitter. Well, it's X now, you know.
We still call it Twitter. I'm never going to call it X.
And I'm on Blue Sky, but I never put it. I mean, there's too much shit out there, so yeah. I'm on TikTok. I do the little dances with the little tutu, but yeah, you can only do so much.
Dances with the tutu. That sounds adorable.
I'm
gonna have to check
little
that
pink tutu, yeah.
Definitely gonna have to check that out. Graveyard. Give everybody a pluggable, sir.
Yes, I'm Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night, Mostly podcast.
Mostly
Pod.
at night. Mostly.
And an hour and 7 minutes ago, our 160th episode just released. So make sure to check it out anywhere you get your podcast. Follow us on social media at Pod Out at Night. Check out Conversations in the Void. We had an amazing guest last night who's just a big nerd when it comes to making movies, and he does docuseries about basketball in Boise, Idaho, which is pretty interesting. Check it out. And we are, Chronos, the new horror game, comes out tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be streaming at some point in time this weekend, pending pain tolerance that I have. And then Silent Hill F is coming out, and the new Alien game is coming out at the end of the month as well. And hopefully more escape rooms with Mezzo JD, and hopefully more horror games with people, and make a horror game squad, if you will. So check it out.
There we go. I might actually hop on tomorrow. Like actually play a game tomorrow. I don't know. Potentially, just because I took the day off to get ready to go to the con, and Jeff has to work, so I've got to wait until the afternoon for us to drive out to Oregon for the Comic-Con. So I might actually, I don't know, I might do something for a little bit tomorrow. It's been a while.
Do it.
All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. How's the new show going?
It has not happened at all, so it's not going at all. That's if anyone's interested in talking to underrated horror gems, come hit me up. It's going to be Whispers from the Deep. Hopefully, we get that going. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. It's okay.
Yeah. I said that specifically because, hey, Dan, I think you should look on Whispers from the Deep. You seem like you know a little bit about horror.
A little bit. I know way too much, like nerdy shit that nobody gives a fuck about, but I know.
That's our show. That's like 90% of our show, dude.
Well, I'm only insulting myself, so.
Yeah. I mean, don't we all, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know if you noticed, we were talking about G.I. Joe earlier, and I'm wearing a Cobra shirt, right? Ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am, your boy, Young Phil, Distance Nerding. Of course, we finally hit 500 subscribers. We're actually at 503 right now. I've got a bunch of Lego kits I need to give away. The thing is, we got to find time for me to actually do this. We want to do a show. This is the Lego themed show. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Let's open this box and let me show you guys what I got here.
Ooh.
All right.
You call that a knife?
Call that awesome.
This is a knife.
This is a knife. We call that a pig sticker. So guys, whole bunch of fun stuff I got in here. So for all my Wicked fans, oh my God, Graveyard, look what you did. Elphabet's face is fucked up.
Good. We don't need to see her anyway.
Okay,
Wicked. Oh, damn it.
So I've got that right there. I've got a brick heads. You turn it back on.
I didn't touch anything.
Okay, there we go. Also on the brick heads, I've got Wednesday and her little friend, Enid. There you go.
Sure.
All right, so we got that right there. For all my One Piece fans out there.
How many pieces is it?
Let's see.
Their answer should be one piece. Come on.
Hold on, wrong thing. Do I not have a laughing audience? I guess I don't.
Sorry.
I didn't realize I didn't have a laugh track on here anymore. Okay, I got right there. That was probably one of the greatest fucking puns this show has ever seen. It's 136 pieces, but I have a Luffy D Monkey brickhead here. That was good. I have got a pumpkin truck.
Ooh.
So, and here come all the big kits, guys. So I did this specifically because you got to have like bigger ones to give away, right? So I've got a Disney Castle.
I see.
And I've got this pretty awesome arcade machine.
I want that.
And then this came for free, and I'm keeping this one.
You son of a bitch.
I'm keeping that one.
You son of a bitch.
I'm keeping this because I collect the game console ones, right? So what's cool?
I know.
What's cool about this is this is an exclusive. You had to spend like a certain amount to get this one, and it's free when you when you hit the threshold, right? So this not only is it the Genesis controller, it's got fucking green fields built into the back of the control.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware. Like I'm getting the Lego Game Boy, just so you know.
So am I. I'm gonna get that when it comes out. So I'm definitely building that on the show. But the other kits that I showed you guys here, these are kits that I'm giving away. I've got 3 other kits right behind me over here. Let me go grab those so you guys can see them too.
Sweet. Sandra wants the pumpkin.
I figured she was gonna be the one that wanted that.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. I was like, oh, this is kind of cute. I like the way this is. So I have a 12-in-1 Lego kit right here, so you can build like airplanes and lions and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Away. I've got a Cosmic Cardboard Adventures.
Interesting.
So it's like a bedroom that it's like a kid having imagination in his bedroom kind of thing.
Oh, I don't know what that's like. So.
And then I have a Lego Pirates pirate ship playground.
Is that for Monkey to go on?
I think Luffy would be way too big for this, but those are kits. Those are the kits that I have. We're going to be giving some of those away. We may be giving some away on the 250th episode as well, which is happening in November. So, we'll be going to be getting in on that. We've got all these different kits, and again, this was my thank you for all of you guys for hitting 500 subscribers. It was a milestone for us. We appreciate all of you guys for sticking around with us and supporting Distance Nerding. And again, this is my way of showing you guys appreciation. I'm going to give away a bunch of Lego kits. So we just got to schedule a day for us to do it, but we've got them. So outside of that, have something you want to discuss. Tell us what you're nerding out on and connect with us on all of the social media places. Instagram, Facebook. We're still on Twitter. I don't know why we're on Twitter. I'm never calling it X, by the way. It's still Twitter, just to piss off Elon. Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, Blue Sky, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of
Christian Mingle.
it's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and Mandel the beard. Jamez's glasses judging you for not getting us to the next 1,000. And of course, everything she do would do for money, which is mostly him just cowering in the corner.
Afraid of this voice because he hates this voice really bad.
Mm-hmm. If you would never have said that, if you never said anything, it would never have been a bit.
It never would have been. If you wouldn't have fucking started crying about it, I would have never made a bit out of it. So there you go. That's right there. Hey guys, what are you doing?
You ever watch Joe Cartoon back in the early 2000s?
Yes.
Right. That's everybody says I sound like the frog.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Hey, cut it out. You suck.
It really sounds like him, though. Of course, if you would like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely and spit us out at the feet of Luffy D Monkey because his Lego kit should only have one piece. Send us an email at distancenerding@aol.com and we will read it live on air. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. It is the time for the end of the show, which means Bruce, go to bed.
Go to bed, Bruce.
It's night time, buddy. I know he's watching too because his mom's in the chat. Well, guys, as always, thanks and keep nerding together. I did not have enough time to still fix the so I'm not going to play it.
God damn it!
I haven't fixed the credits yet, so I'm not going to play the credits tonight. So I'm just going to say good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to drop right into the end credit thing. So the ending picture video thing. Yeah, the Nintendo. I'll see you guys later. Thanks, and keep nerding together. Again, Dan, I want to thank you, man. Have a good night, guys.
Night.
Thank you.